Hey guys, welcome to another fun episode of Opinions Anonymous. I, of course, am Luke, and today my only guest is you guys and me here today. So, just going to talk a little bit today, tell some fun stories, hopefully, and have some fun. If you have not, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get notified when videos like these come live. Check out our podcast. We're working on getting everything mixed to audio. We're transitioning kind of to video this year, which is exciting, but want to also put it on audio so people can listen on car rides, any of that. So check out all our stuff. You know the plugs. We won't bore you with those today. But today, I want to talk a little bit about renting movies. We talked about it a little bit last episode in episode 2 of season 3 and our favorite blockbuster or rental memories. And I was just thinking that I wanted to elaborate on some of mine and talk a little bit more about some of my memories on how that changed over time. So I mentioned on season 3, episode 2, that my favorite memories was going to American Rental, which was right next to, I think, right next to the Kmart. Maybe Kmart took over that. I can't remember. And I can remember specifically there was a WCW pay-per-view that I would always get. It was wrestling. It was, if you've listened to the podcast, wrestling nerd, used to be a huge wrestling fan, starting to watch it a little bit again, but would go in there and we'd rent videos, and I think there was a max you could get, and you rented them for several days. So I would rent as many as I could, and I would go home and immediately just watch all of them, and then I was ready to return them immediately to get new ones. More on that here in a little bit, but I can just remember going into weird places. There was a place in Batesville. I know we mentioned Classic Pizza. I don't think it was that, but maybe it was Classic Pizza. And I would just always go to the sports section and find the wall of wrestling videos. And I just remember seeing an entire wall, and you go in there. Survivor Series was one of my favorites because it would just have teams against teams. Royal Rumble, of course. These are pay-per-views in the 90s on the VHS, and it was really cool to do that. Once in a while, we'd get a regular movie, Home Alone or something like that. This is back when we only had antennas, so we were not watching movies very often. So we would do that to get Home Alone was a big one. My brother loved Home Alone. We had Disney movies. We had a few of those. Get into that. 101 Dalmatians, some of the favorites, Aladdin, Lion King, as the kids are out there watching Lion King now, probably. But just loved going into movie stores, or when Blockbuster came around, we had more weird places than Blockbusters. I feel like Blockbuster did come around, but just the weird places. And then when Blockbuster and Hollywood Video did come around, you could go in and again rent movies. This is maybe when it transitioned to DVDs. Would rent some of those. You could find any movie, almost any movie, alphabetical, which is maybe where my movie collection got its alphabetical order, so I could always easily find them. But pretty cool setup when you walk in there and just see movies upon movies upon movies, and games. You could rent games. I know Kyle talked about, and Luke as well, I think, talked about renting a movie or a game. Actually, I've been saying episode 2. I think that was episode 1. We talked about that because Luke was there. But just renting these items, and you could keep it maybe up to 7 days, which seemed crazy. You have to talk your parents into that, and it was like an extra $3. So you rent a game for 7 days, and it's $10, and you could buy the game for probably 30. So I don't know how worth it that was. I always used to try to rent a game to see if I wanted to buy it, but at that point, I'm already, a third of the way into the price, so I don't know why I didn't just buy it in the first place. And then there was Netflix, but not the Netflix you're used to today. So this is brand new Netflix when it first started, and it was you could get 1, 2, or 3 discs in the mail, and then you could return them and they would send you new ones. So if you had 2 discs, you would pick 2 online. So you had this huge catalog of movies. You could just scroll through, type any movie you can think of, find it. If they have it, you can add it to your queue. And mine was Forever Long. And they would send you these movies as soon as they became available in the top of your queue. So new releases, they would only have so many of them, but you could still get them pretty quickly. And if you timed it right, so I got to where I could learn how to time it. And, I could get it to where I knew that the movie would come out. So I'd put it at the top of the list and they would get my disc back and I would be one of the first people to get it. So it became what I was talking about earlier, where I would just watch these so quick, so quick. But the longest time was the delay in the mail. So you'd send it, take a couple of days for them to get it, a couple of days to get it back. So I was just missing out, and I was just had time where there was no movies for me to watch. So what I started doing, and I don't think this is illegal, but maybe borderline here, but I would get 3 movies at a time. So I would get the 3 movies, I would immediately upload them to my computer and then I would send them back so that the process started. So if it took me 2 days to watch those 3 movies, then I wouldn't have to wait to send it back. And I'd already have movies coming back, right? So I would get 3 movies, put them on my computer immediately, which took some time, took an hour or so. And then I would send them back in the mail the next day. So people at Netflix are probably like, what the hell is this guy doing? Does he have no life? Because I'm getting 3 at a time, sending them back the next day so that I could get 3 more. And I just kept repeating the process. So I always had movies to watch because they were just on my computer. So I could just watch these movies whenever I wanted. And then I could just delete them and move on and keep doing this. So it was fantastic. I finally got it in the streaming back then. So streaming now is the only thing you know of, Netflix, right? But the streaming back then was so bad. I mean, you could pay an extra $7 to have streaming, but there was nothing on there. I mean, it'd be movies like Happy Gilmore, just old movies that are great, but you're not craving to watch them. They're at this point they're on TV that you can catch them on TNT or TBS or something. So Netflix in the early days, that was kind of crazy. And then of course now we're in this streaming world where you can get everything. So Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime. There are so many options to watch movies that now I have a watch list of 300 and some movies, and at any given time I could watch 10 of them on any one of the apps. So Prime Day was just last week, I believe, and I got Stars and Showtime for 2 months for 99 cents a month. So now I have those, so I got to try to cycle through the movies on there. But man, movie rental days were crazy. Those were exciting. Those were fun. And then to watch it transition to where it is today is crazy. Some interesting things. Netflix versus the World, I think, is a documentary on maybe Amazon Prime, but Blockbuster could have bought out Netflix, and they just said, "Oh, it's never going to take off through the mail. People are never going to want to stay home and get movies. People are never going to want to stay home and stream movies." So they had their chance, and they missed it. But movie rental is such a great time, such a great memory that I have. So just wanted to share that, talk a little bit more about it. But tell us if you have any crazy movie or game rentals or any fun stories that you have. And as always, if you have a movie you want me to watch, let me know what it is and how I can watch it. And I will definitely check it out and I'll do a review. I'll do a movie review for you and make sure that you know what I think of the movie. So as always, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Lots of fun stuff coming from our entire group. So stay tuned. And again, thank you.